Hello, everyone. Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for joining this new live session of Customily. For those that have attended the previous two ones, thank you for keeping up with all these sessions and special events. For those that missed the other two, you can find them already on the YouTube channel. So thank you for joining today. Thank you for supporting this new adventure we are creating with these new live sessions. I'm going to wait for a couple of extra attendees and start off in 1 minute. For those installing the app quite recently and are either getting started with your store from scratch or beginning the process of selling personalizable products on an existing store, for both cases, we have the perfect tool to get started. Now, Customily is an app that provides your store with live previews of products, along with options that your customers can interact with, changing those live previews with every interaction. From typing to clip art selection or image upload, your preview will change live and give you a realistic example of how your customization will look on the product. This is how Customily works on your store. We have a live preview that will change according to the options we interact with. So we can select, for example, in this case, we set up a map location, right? We have this feature that we selected. The map changes live. We can actually play with the style of the map if we want to. Type in, for example, whatever you want, the locations, your name. Play around changing the font like this. And we can actually have some fixed messages and eventually type something like, for example, the year. And you see when we type the year, actually the established prefix will show up. And everything can be done in Customily. So whatever you set up in your options will automatically change on the preview. On another example, for example, this is a Sherpa blanket that has a particular design in which you can upload your own images. So, for example, I can see here that I have buttons to select these images. This is all Customily working right now. And you can not only upload your image, but you can actually move that around, resize, reshape, rotate this to have exactly what you want and show like this. And that can be done with every single of the customizable images. So this is Customily. This preview is done by loading a template. Okay, and the options as well are loaded. And these are the two elements that are created in Customily and are the core of Customily. If you follow the steps of creating a template from scratch, you'll be able to create the options automatically and connect them to any of your existing products. As simple as that. Customily 2.0 is our latest update for Shopify stores, which allows you to create and publish personalized products easier, faster, and better than before. Those starting your stores from scratch will have more interest in this section because now you can choose a product directly from a print-on-demand supplier, add a design to it, and get it published in your Shopify store, all from Customily app. Also, with the print-on-demand services that have an API connection, all the fulfillment processes will be automated. This means that once you receive a purchase, all the order details and the ready-to-print file will be sent to the corresponding POD provider automatically for fulfillment and shipping. Another interesting feature for Shopify users is the free access to Customily's design libraries. This means you can find designs ready to use and sell, or you can use this exclusive clip art collection to create your own art. So we can say that there are 4 different paths you can explore with Customily 2.0. You can work with a print-on-demand provider who has its own product catalog and add a design from Customily's library to that product. This is the fastest path, the one that allows you to have published products ready to sell in minutes. You can work with the print-on-demand provider, but choose to add your own designs to their products. In this case, you will have to populate your design library before being able to publish products on your store. Now, this is the scenario we're going to be exploring today. Okay. On previous live sessions, we have explored the first scenario. On future live sessions, we're going to be exploring the third scenario, which is when you, on the other hand, don't have you're not going to be using POD providers, but you have your own products. And you're going to start by populating your product base. After you have your own product mockups, you can choose to add the designs from Customily's library, or you can put together your own designs and connect them to your own mockups. This is the path that involves more time, but once you have all your product mockups and all your designs set up, it's just a mix and match game, and you'll be able to create and launch new products in seconds. So now that we have the different alternatives clear, we're going to start creating some products together. Let's start from the beginning. Imagine I'm a Shopify store owner. I want to start selling personalized products, and I just installed Customily to try it out. Here we are in the main menu of Customily. You can see at the left bar that there have 6 sections. The first 3 sections are shortcuts to the 2.0 tools. The other 3 sections are the main core of Customily, as I mentioned before. You can explore, manage, and create your templates, upload and organize your assets in libraries, colors, fonts, vectors, and images. And you can see all your connected products in the store section, as well as change many settings that will help you customize the front-end experience of your customers. Today, we're going to create the products I showed you at the beginning. We are going to create the Sherpa blanket using really quickly the 2.0 features by selecting a POD provider, but instead of picking one of Customily's designs, we are going to create our own design using the comic strip design that you are seeing right there. Now, on the other hand, we're going to create from scratch this mountain canvas template. We're going to use the Customily tools and connect it directly to an existing product that I have in my store. Okay, let's start off in the start section. From here, you will have access to print-on-demand providers, design libraries, and product mockups. Like I mentioned before, product bases will be addressed on future live sessions, but today we're going to play around with the My Designs. If you select, for example, a POD from our list and pay attention that these POD providers have this message below them that says automatic fulfillment. This means that those PODs that have API connection can be automatically fulfilled using Customily. So you can create the product using this interface. The product will be created in your store, but linked to the POD, and through the API, we'll get the print file ready to print and fulfill without you needing to do that manually. Now, as you can see, for example, CaseStreet is still developing their own API, so we have a CSV fulfillment, meaning that you will have to export the orders and the links for the print files and send them over to CaseStreet. Now, that manual process is really easy, and most of our PODs are used to working that way. But with the automatic fulfillment, you skip that process, you save time, and you are able to provide better fulfillment and delivery times and be certain that those products are are printed and fulfilled correctly because they come directly with the information of the POD through their API. So it's very important that you, once you install Customily, you start connecting your Printful, Printify, your POD's API inside Customily, so you make sure that the automatic fulfillment is working and saving you a lot of time. Today, let's create something from CustomCat. Okay. Now in CustomCat, for example, I wanted to create a blanket, so I'm going to look for this. As you can see, we have a lot of pages of products. Whatever product you want to sell, and for some reason, because it's too recent, you don't see this here, just ask for the product to our support email, and we'll get it up and running in no time. So if I want to create a blanket, and for example, the Mink Sherpa blanket, I can pick this product. This is a 60 by 80 product, okay? And well, I want to select this product in its white presentation and have a design not from Customily. As you know, Customily has many designs, has many categories that we can explore and have any of these designs created on any product from the POD. Okay, you can explore this later. But today we want to do something different. We want to create something unique, which is the essence of Customily and the personalization market. So obviously we don't have the design here because we have to create it. So we're going to go here to My Design and create a new design. We're going to name this live section photo, comic photo upload. Okay, we're going to create this design. You start off with a big square of 1 by 1 meters, but if you know your design will have a specific size, we can actually resize this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the resize and select inches. And if you recall, we had a 60 by 80 inches design. So I'm going to edit this to resize this, most likely because we want to keep the ratio, okay, the proportions. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start creating, if you recall, we're going to be creating this this photo upload design. So basically what we need objects that will hold our photos, and we have this nice design that I put together for this particular occasion. So really quickly, this is our design studio. This is where we're going to create our designs, as well as later we're going to create in a similar interface our templates. Okay, let me go through the tools really quickly. You can create, for example, text boxes, okay, in which your customers will be able to type anything they want. The same goes with covered text. And also you can create placeholders. Placeholders for images or vector are objects in which your customers are able to upload their own images. Okay, so for example, you see the button here says to try with an image, meaning that that image will not stay with the design. It's just for testing purposes. And I'm going to play around with this, picking up this image, for example. And you see, because we have a square element and we have a landscape oriented image, we get to see the margins, the white margins on the edges. So to avoid this, there's a way you can edit the way customers will see their images. For example, you can click on image behavior here and open a series of options. And one of the options will be to fill the area. That way, the dimension will match the maximum dimension and be sure to cover the entire box. Of course, this box can be adjusted any way you want, but the fit and the fill will always be there. Now, some things you can play around with. You can play around with the full color. So for example, instead of full color, you want to have your uploaded images to be grayscale, or you want your images to be single color, and so the color can actually be changed, but it will simplify the process like this. One thing you can actually do also is apply masks. Mask will be reshaping the box, basically. So if you want this to have a circular shape or a heart shape, you can actually do that by applying a mask. Now, the mask is really simple. It's actually a black and white. It's a black and white file. Black will be the places where the image will show. White is the places where it doesn't show. Yeah, so that's a really cool effect. Then you can think about it and later apply to your designs. Now, in this case, we're not going to be using the mask, but it's looking very beautiful. Another things we can play around with here, and this is something that we're going to save for later with later live sessions. There are some app integrations that we have with Customily that will give you a really great customization experience for your customers. We have integration with RemoveBG and Cutout Pro, as well as Bands AI. So RemoveBG and Cutout Pro are tools that can remove the background of images, and also Cutout Pro can actually crop the face out. It's really cool when you are playing around with certain cartoons and you want to put your head on top of the cartoon. That's really amazing. Sells a lot, and we are saving some time for examples like this later on. Now, when you sign up to Customily and you want to apply this kind of services, you'll see that there are actually some offers for you to explore. So later on, we can send you information about how to get the most of these tools. Now, finally, we have a cartoonized filter with Bands AI. We are testing out some other filters, but right now, if you want to sell a product that involves uploading your portrait picture and apply a cartoon filter, you can do that by applying this option here. Of course, you will need an account from Bands AI, an account from RemoveBG, and Cutout Pro. But once you have those accounts, you can connect them to Customily over API and apply those tools to whatever image your customers will upload. So right now we want this in full color fill area, okay? This is going to be our photo number 1. You can double click there and change this anytime you want. And we should create like another 8 photos, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8 photos, and the background. But before we create more placeholders for the rest of the photo, we should create the design, correct? So the design that I'm going to be using is this, and I'm going to show this over here in Photoshop so you can see how it works. Basically, this is a sort of comic strip page in which I cut out and remove certain boxes in which I'm going to be putting my images. Now the rest is just opaque, so whatever you see in squares is transparent, and that's very important because behind this we are going to put the images. So how do we use this? Basically, this is a PNG with transparency. So for PNGs, we are going to use the dynamic image tool. This tool is meant for you to upload your graphics, your clip art or whatever. So I'm going to come here to upload the image and go straight to the image I want to upload. So this one. Okay, we want this to be as big as the page, so I'm going to transform this here really quickly to like that. Okay, so you see now we have this big design, and below that, behind actually, it's the photo we created. What we can do is keep this on top, okay? Then lock it so it won't move by accident, and then we're going to start playing around creating the rest of the images. How do we do that? We move this around, we resize this so it will fit our design, yeah? And we can Control C and Control V to create a new item. Obviously, the item will be on top. We're going to drag this down. We're going to move this here, here, and shove it here. So while I'm doing this, how are we doing so far? There you go. Almost finished. Okay, now just another one. Again, they're always dropping this all the way to the bottom. Don't worry about these cases because you can always just drag the layers so they don't overlap another ones. Yeah, so two more and we are ready to set this design ready to go. Like this and like this. Of course, this will be dragged down as well so it doesn't interfere. And the last one should be here and here. Straightforward, easy, fast to go. And the effect is really awesome because, okay, you get to see all these working together. Now, very important, this image will not be printed, will not be showcased because basically this is just for testing purposes, as you recall. Okay, but we actually want this to have something feeling so we can see how everything works and nothing is overlapping like this, which is overlapping. So this one should be behind the other one like this. And I don't think there's any other overlapping, so excellent to go. Very important we rename this so it's easier later for the options to show up on the front end. This text will pop up. Okay, like this. Just I think this is the number 6. Yeah, this is number 5. Oh no, this is number 7. This is number 5, and this. I think there was a question somewhere in the chat, and I wasn't able to see that. Hope Morena can help me out with this. Okay, there you go. So this is our design, and we are ready to actually save it and move on to create the product. Remember, we want to create the CustomCat blanket with our special design. So I'm going to save this, and once I save the design, Customily will put together the options that will show up on the front end. Basically, the image upload buttons, right? These are the options in this particular case, the photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, and so on. So we can actually take a look at that here at the bottom of the design. We can click on edit options and see how the options look before we actually create the product. We have photo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And really interesting, if you open this, you can actually control the minimum width and height in pixels that your customers can upload images. So for example, if I block this to be 1,000 by 1,000, whatever image below that size will not be allowed to be uploaded, okay, ensuring that you will have a really high quality print. So you can actually set this up for all the 8 images and be sure that your customers will have that limit that they cannot go below that. Also, at the same time, you can actually change the name of the button. I changed this to select. You can change this to upload, start creating, and so on. Yeah, by default, it will have a upload text, but you can customize that any way you want. So if you don't have anything else we want to add in this case, we're going to save this. And remember, these are the options for this design. So how do you like the design creation? Seems like really easy, correct? Great. So let's move on to the start again. Yeah, and in the start, we are going back to our custom create new product, CustomCat, and find that blanket to create the ink blanket 60 by 80. Yeah, that's going to be a white with the print area. And when we click next, we are going to pick from our designs. Now, here is the design we created. Okay, and once we just select this, the automatic process begins. Customily, as this keeps spinning, is creating a new product on my store, is creating whatever variant I selected. If I had more than one size, for example, is creating the listing photo, is creating the connection to CustomCat. And in that connection through API, is gathering the print area information, is gathering the mockups, gathering whatever texture and effect you will have for the end, and putting the design that I selected with the options that I selected. At the end, you will have this. This is the mockup, the preview, okay? And we can actually upload images and select and save save that preview as the default listing photo, okay? This is the final step before we publish. We can actually change the name, do some shortcuts that Shopify has. For example, if you go to edit product details, we can change this to live session mink Sherpa blanket, so I can find that later. We can set a price. For example, the price will be, I think 75, and there's a description that we can change or not, okay, and save it. You can change this in Shopify later, but we want this to be saved as it is. Now, I wanted to take the opportunity of showing this product and address a question that someone asked before the live session that involves, what if I don't like the mockup and the preview set up by Customily? That's something that happens. Not all mockups are perfect, not all designs are perfect, but you can change that later. Once we publish this, we click here and we publish. Before you go, Customily will remind you that you don't have the API key of CustomCat. This means that you will not automatically fulfill any purchase of this product. You should go here and set up in integrations, set up the API for your print on demand. This way you will ensure the automatic fulfillment. In my case, I'm going to skip that for now, but rest assured that Customily will try the best to help you out, and so will show you this message if you don't have an API connected. When you click OK, the product is now live in your store, and you can personalize this. You can start selecting photos. Okay, I'm going to put here, and oh, this is not the, I'm going to just remove that and start again. I'm going to use this nice landscape, reshape this to show really good. As you can see, if you don't want the mouse, you can use these controls, but it's really handy and useful to resize and reshape everything. And once there, I'm going to use this image. This is Customily right here, everyone. And I can start filling this any way I want, but I'm not happy with the preview, right? Because it's cutting some edges. So you can go to Customily and access all the core elements that I mentioned you before. They have been created and you have full access to that. And you can change anything you want. If you check the backend and go to templates, the last modified template will be this premium Sherpa blanket, the live session coming photo upload. So I can edit this. I can see that the print area is shaping up correctly without any problem. Yeah. Apparently, the PNG resolution 300 for this particular size is too much. So Customily recommends you that you reduce this. Okay, something like this. would be nice. It's still going to print really amazing, but it's just too big to process such an image. And on the preview, this is the really nice part, you get to see the mask, which is this wrinkle effect that shows the shape of the blanket, and you get to see the folding and everything. There's like a product at the background as well, but you get to see all the images and all the designs. So if I unlock the design and I pick all the images, I can actually adjust this a bit until it fits perfectly the way it's going to be printed. Yeah, I can actually drag this any way I want and showcase exactly the way I want this. Then before I save this again, I get to see how it prints and how it shows on the front end. So this is really amazing, so you understand how a template looks like. A template will have a print setup and a preview setup that can be changed and adjusted. It's okay, because we are showcasing something that whenever we upload an image, yeah, it's showing like this on the preview and printing like this on the print file. So let's save this. Okay, go back to the templates once it's finished, yeah, and go back to the product, and as simple as refreshing, obviously the listing photo will still have this because you should change the listing photo later, sorry. But if I pick a photo now, the preview actually shows exactly the way we fixed that. And that's the important part. It's a really easy fix. It's something that you can adjust, as simple as refreshing, and all will be as you want. Later, you can put together a nice collage, go and check out the preview, save this for your Shopify listing photo, and there you go. Okay, let's go to the longest path. We're going to, I want to sell my own products with my own art. So what I have to do is create a template from scratch. Like we automated before, we're going to start from scratch. Now think of it like this. On the first path, you have everything ready. You have your POD provider that has uploaded the product mockups, and you had your designs created before, or you could use Customily designs. But right now here, you can create everything by yourself. And I'm going to show you how. So let's create a new template, okay? First of all, you will have to set up the print area. And just like the design, you're going to set up a print area that is actually what you want. Now, first of all, the name of this will be, for example, live session mountain map canvas. Yeah, and we're going to print this in inches 60. 60 by 40. It's going to be a landscape canvas. Now, very important, if your canvas is actually those with no frame that wraps around, your printer will probably tell you that you need actually 1.5 inches per side as an extra printing so you can wrap around. So your print area will be actually 63 by 43, something like that. But keep in mind that it's not the exact canvas size, but actually the extent of the print. Yeah, so this is actually our print area. We're going to put up our design. Now for our design, if you recall, this is what we wanted to create. We wanted to create a 4 maps, some messages, and some fixed text. So let's start with the maps. Now the maps are created using this tool, the map tool. It will shape up a square map that you have with this style. But if you open the map behavior, you actually get to select the initial location. So it will show something nice at the beginning. Yeah. Something like this, for example. Yeah, select. And you can pick as many styles as you want for the map. Now, if you open the styles available, you get to see a really nice PDF showing you all the available styles so far. Yeah, and well, I don't want to offer everything to all the 4 maps, so I'm going to do some selection, right? But you have a lot of styles that are really amazing. I'm going to, for example, this first map is going to have the monochromes, blue tones, yeah? And I can actually preview one of them by just clicking on one and the other to see that. And well, I want actually to rotate this, right? Because I have this design really cool. And this is one map that is rotated. Now I'm going to create another map like this. I'm going to set up another initial location. Okay. Set up some designs that are these 5 designs. Yeah. Like that. And also, of course, I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to do this 2 more times. Okay. 2 other maps. Probably going to change the map behavior of this to these 5 designs and not these designs. Yeah. And for the last one, probably going to go with the other monochromatic that are not blues. Like that. Yeah, a bit right. So now we have everything going correctly. And we want to organize this into the design we want. Now, the design we want has some tricks. And let me show you what are the tricks. Obviously, these maps are square and they're hidden behind this white rectangle. And at the same time, there are some edges that we can shape up. Now, the best way to do this is to create something in Illustrator or Photoshop or anything like that. But it's not that complicated. If you see, it's actually a wide rectangle with the lines shaping up the 4 mountains. And the maps will be inside this. So this is another PNG with transparent background. And we're going to put that inside Customily and see how it looks. Remember that to upload any of your designs, we are going to create a dynamic image. We're going to upload this effect that we created, this map edge, like this. Yeah, as you can see, it's showing up there. And well, we want this to be, for example, we want this to be aligned to the bottom. We want this to be, oh wait, let me center this. We want this to be as big as the canvas, so it's 2 by 192.2. And this is as big as the canvas, but we are going to be dragging this a bit down because the white edge is like that. I want to use some margin later. So this is the what we call this the overlay. Yeah, we're going to call this the overlay. Lock it so we don't move it by accident, and play around with the maps. Now the first map is this. We can actually put this here. You see it's behind the edges. We can actually have this set up to the very edge so it looks nicer. The second map, this one, maybe we are going to put this here like that. Yeah, probably reshape this like that. Then we want to use the third map. I'm going to call this map 3. Put it here. It seems like it's above. So just drag this down, make it bigger. Yeah. And the final map, this one, should be around here. Okay. And obviously, we're going to make this bigger like this, but it has to be all the way down to the bottom, like that. So now we have the maps all set to go with the mountain design, and this is shaping up really beautiful. So what do we need now? We need to create the text elements. For that, we're going to create a new text box. Now, this text box, I want to be able to type all the locations that I want to add on this map. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shape this to be something small and detailed down at the bottom. If you recall this, like this. Okay. And one thing we can do is go to character here and play around with the fonts and with the colors. Now, for example, I may want to have this in a particular size that will be easier to see and to print without any problems. So I'm going to go to 55 in size, like that. So now I start typing, and obviously I will get this showing up like that. I don't like Arial, so I'm going to change this to, for example, Avant-Garde. Yeah, I like this better. Yeah, that's it. And the color black seems to be too much for the style. So, so I'm going to change this to a gray that will be a detail on my map. So like that, save, perfect. So now we have this color for the text, yeah. And this can be filled with anything you want, like that. It can be centered in the alignment as well, and have the sizes. Now, if you want a fixed size, you set up the same for the maximum and for the minimum. And if you don't want that, we're going to create another text box and show you how. This text box will be for the names. So maybe I can just align this somehow here. Center this, perfect. And okay, so for the text, for the names, let's say, for example, if I, well, here I actually want to offer fonts. Instead of one, I want to offer many ones. So I can start adding fonts like this. I can go to the second option and add another one like this, yeah, and see how the Arial goes one or the other, yeah. But I can actually pick a library like we talked about on the libraries before that and select this one. Now, quick comment on libraries. And for that, I'm going to keep this open and go to another tab. As you recall, we went over the templates, the libraries, and the store, and we have been through templates and store already. But what about now? Libraries where you can organize your colors, your fonts, and your vectors and images, and make sure they are updated across your products. So now that I selected these wallet fonts that we use on the past live session, and I put it on my new canvas, if I open this library and I add a new font, it's going to update here and it's going to update the canvas, and at the same time will update the wallet product, because any changes to libraries will update across products. And that's very important because it will save you time when you are adding new clip arts, changing the quality of the existing clip arts because you were able to improve that, and so on. So managing using libraries is really important, will save you a lot of time, will keep things organized for you. There's no limit in the number of libraries, there's no limit in the number of items per library, but it's really interesting to have this organized like this. So any changes later to the names, to the order, whatever, will reflect on your products really fast. So I picked this library. I want, this is really small and I want to make this bigger. So I want to have 200, oh wait, for example, 500 as the maximum size and 250 as the minimum. The reason I'm doing this minimum and maximum size is because if I keep typing, eventually I will start suffering. You see, once I reach the end of the box, the text starts to shrink, and it will shrink to whatever size I select. So I can check out the minimum size that I'm allowing, as well as the maximum size I'm allowing. The rest is just depends on your content, but it's important that you don't keep typing and typing and eventually you get so small it won't work. Then we can play around and check out what the other fonts looks like the Nikon, the Quarto, Rockwell, and Satisfaction. Yeah, I like this for the preview. So this is the names, and we are missing two more text boxes. I'm going to create them really fast. One text box will be for a message called, check it out here, life is an adventure. So I'm going to type that, life is an adventure. And this is very small, so I'm going to change this to 150. Yeah. And the font that I wanted to use for this case was Century. Yeah, Century Schoolbook. Yeah. It seems a bit small, so I print probably the box is really small. Yeah, there is. So now you can see if the box is too small for the size, it will not show up. So you need to make sure that the box is enough for the size that you want. So life is an adventure will be a fixed text. We're going to do that later. I actually wanted to add the same color. Okay, and copy this and create another object, another text that will be down here. I'm going to align this better. And this message will be the established 2009, for example. Now, we don't want customers to be typing est dot space, so we just want customers to type the year. So what if we take this away and make sure it's always fixed by going to the Advanced tab and putting a prefix? So whatever you type will always show the est first. That's a really cool trick that we have there. And well, I think this is all for the print, right? This is going to be the first step, the production file. And we're going to select the export format to be PDF, yeah, because I want this nice. And we're going to click next to go to the second step, in which we are going to put together the store preview. For that, we're going to use a background color, set up a really big preview like to 1200 by 1200, and set this up like this. Once you are on this place, you see Customily will pick everything and put it there wherever it lands. We don't like this. We want to have our product. Our product is a canvas. A canvas has a context and like a drop shadow and something nice. So we are able to add new images to this particular section. And in the image, I prepared a mockup that actually has a context, has the shape of the canvas, but it has nothing on the inside. So it's transparent and we can put our design on there, inside there. So now I'm going to upload this design, this canvas here. And obviously it's important that this image is on top of everything. So let me transform this to go to like that. Yeah. So you see now this is the mockup. We're going to lock this and select everything else, the maps and the text and everything. Yeah, and I can actually shrink this until we are at the very edge of the mockup on the canvas and everything, and I can actually put this down like this. Okay. And this is exactly how it's going to look. How your text will look, how your names, the established everything, and the maps. This is your mockup. And before you save, when you go to the next step, you get to see the print and you get to see the preview. And you get to play around to see how everything behaves. Like, for example, text 7, like this will be like that. So it shows like this and prints like this. So let's save this. And we're going to connect this to an existing product in my store. This is what many customers have asked. Okay, I have my own product. So what do I do if I have my products? Simply, when you create the template, you come here and you connect to a Shopify product. You're still inside Customily, but you are on the store area. On the store area, you're going to find your product. In this case, is the live session mountain canvas. Yeah. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to, if you find some reason you get that broken image and you just need to sync, and we're going to pull the latest information from your Shopify store and get it working right away. So this is a live session mountain canvas. This is the photo that I put together, but I can actually now connect a template. So when I connect a template and I pick my template, Customily will ask me if I want to create the options and save, or say not now. So if you're connecting for the second time, you may say not now. But if you're starting from scratch and you just connected your template, you want to create the option. So what is Customily doing right now? Customily is actually checking out, what do you have? You have maps, you have map styles, you have text elements, you have fonts, and it's putting together all those options into a single file that is the options set, and also save, but we're going to save again. So once the template and the options are all ready to go, all you need to do is preview this on your store and see how Customily loads everything all the way. Because automatically we have the field to enter the first location, then we have the swatches to change the style. Okay, we have well, the second location and changing the style, and we have the third, and so on. You see everything is changing really amazingly like that. You can of course pick any location at all, and yeah, just open like that and hit select, so you see how everything updates and changes. And then you get to see the text when you type the locations. So and values and something like that. You see it's populating everything here. Now the names will be automatically open here, and you can change the fonts because these fonts were detected by Customily and the swatches were created. Finally, you get to say life is an adventure. Remember that? Adventure, yeah. And finally, when you type in the name, the year, you get the established. This is pretty much what we want. Now we can polish this because it's not fully finished to my understanding. And you can personalize this even more. So for example, if we get inside the core of Customily and go into the options here, you click there and you open the options, you see the location 1 map and style 2 and style and so on. You can pretty much change whatever you want about this, the labels and stuff, but very important, the text elements. Text number 6 is not very attractive, so we're going to type your locations. We're going to go to text number 7, which is type your names. Okay. And this one, which this is the font selector, yeah. So you see inside you have each one of the fonts to play around with, change the sizes, change the thumbnails and the names and stuff. Now the text number 8, if you don't, if you remember, is life is an adventure, and we want that to be fixed. So we can set up an initial value. So life is an adventure will show by default, yeah. But you also don't want to change that. So you have an option here to hide the option, yeah. And this is very amazing because you can put this to be a final value without any chance for customers to change that. Unlike, for example, this one, which is type the year, and we can set a value of 2012, okay? But you can change that. So we're going to save this. There's a lot to play around with, and see how this changed entirely on our front end. When we refresh, you see now the map styles and everything. You see type your locations, type your names, change the font, and type the year. So life is an adventure is a fixed value that you can change, and the year is oh, this is saved because I actually changed that later. Yeah, so you can change this anytime you want, but by default it will show something, and you can start customizing this. Okay, so this is how you set up your Canvas product. This is how you put together something really cool. I took this idea from one of our blogs, our blog articles when we released maps. Guys from marketing created a lot of examples that were really amazing, and I loved this example. And I just put together some texts and stuff so you could see what you can do with this. You can change the one thing you can do if you want. So on the year, for example, you can restrict the number of characters to 4 and restrict this to be only numbers with no spaces. So there's a lot of things you can play around and control about your input text. The same with the fonts, and hiding and showing text with certain values will be really amazing for you to put together a really cool design. You always have the chance to write to us over support@customily.com. You can have a live chat on the app on office hours. Join our Facebook communities. Join our YouTube channel to check out our recordings of the live sessions and many other videos we created. I really thank you again for your time, friends. It's all for today. I hope this was useful. We put a lot of love on these products because they're really interesting to play around with. Okay, and I hope to see you next live session. Okay, it was great having you today. Hope you enjoyed this, and sorry about the extra time, but I wanted to cover as much as possible. Okay. I'm going to leave you with a short survey and always be here for you over our emails and support channels. Thank you so much for today's sessions. You've been great, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye bye.